Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'akol niyeh b'dvaro. How's the Olam doing? We are live in Ramat Beis, 7:15 in the morning, but also we were transported to Far Rockaway for a moment, straight out of Ateres Shimon Beis Medrash, Rabbi Groner's famous Beis Medrash. I believe there was legal activity here over Yontif. There was akafas. If anybody saw more than 10 people, it's because they were transported from different places. Shalom Aleichem, how's everybody doing? It's unbelievable. Can you imagine 12:15 coming to the shir, 12:15 in the morning after Yontif? Unbelievable. Today's shir, sponsored, Lili Nishmasimi Mirasi Rusvas Mordechai, sponsored by Yossi. I have such a hard time with names. Rabbi Isai, please forgive me. What? You sure? How do you know? Shasha. Rabbi Yossi Shasha is an OT in honor of Captain Rav Eli and the Dream Team, who made a great deal of effort to visit the family abroad, for allowing me, and I'm sure I speak for many others, to experience a true Simchas Torah. Thank you. Hashem should continue to give the complete MDY team chizuk and health to be Marbitz Torah, Chazak Ubaruch. Yeshakoyach. I want to thank Rabbi Isai publicly, Eli Dykman. He's been the man. Every night comes 12:15, Rockaway, Bar Park, wherever it is. Then he has to drive back. At 1 o'clock, he has to drive back to Bar Park. It's another 45 minutes, not a joke. Once I'm thanking him, I might as well think. We got a slew of presents. I hope I remember each and every one. Rabbi Farkovich for the magnets. We're going to do something very nice with the magnets. You got to see these magnets. They're really cool. They go on in the car. Shmelka gave me a foldable stender. You got to see this piece. It's a real piece. It actually doubles as a back scratcher. It's a real piece. Eli Dykman for this really expensive bottle of wine ×2 because somebody stole it. Yisrael Goldstein, where are you? How was it? Anyways, is he on Yisrael Goldstein? I don't know. He is? So, Yishkoyach, thank you very much. This is, seriously, I found out this is like a $100 bottle or something. I don't want to say prices, but it's a beautiful bottle from, he wants to train me into the California wine. Uncle Phil also gave me a beautiful bottle. Oh, you know what's very interesting? Yisrael Shalitsky, who makes cufflinks, he came over to me, he gave me a cufflink that he designed. So, okay, great. And then on Yontif, I'm like, I have all these cufflink shirts, but I don't have cufflinks. I forgot my cufflinks, I forgot my hat, I forgot my ties, Chaval, nobody gave me a tie. Now it's already too late. Don't send me. Finished. In Chicago, I have a ton of ties. No, so the island was like, oh, this is the guy from the Danish. Stick him a Danish guy without the hat, the tie. Okay, Israeli style, just the white shirt, the whole thing. But I had cufflinks. Baruch Hashem, I had cufflinks. So that was great. Who else? Shia Greenfield gave me a bottle of Yatir for Yontif. Beautiful Yishkoyach from Green Star. A boy said Green Star Electrical, what is it? Contracting, yeah. Who else? Oh, my wife told me to thank the oil because it's true. She went out to buy flowers, but she couldn't find anything she liked, so she went home empty-handed. When she got home, it's a true story. It's not just trying to make somebody... The MDY family, I'm not sure who that is. Is that you guys from Israel or it's America? You guys in America? Okay, everybody. It's the Americans. They sent a beautiful arrangement that was perfect. It matched the other one. It matched the tablecloth. It was a whole. She's very excited. It's shkoyach and also a gift for the kids. So beautiful. Who else? I'm sure I'm missing somebody. I don't know. Okay, fine. Shkoyach to everybody. Thank you very much. Let me just. There's more. We have Kalman. Kalman, you think that the PJs? Yes, I'm listening.
Did you get the suit that we sent you from Eretz Yisrael?
Yeah, but I don't wear green suits. I sent it back. Thank you. The color is awful. The Israeli style. Listen, back in the day, I could wear it. Now it's black or blue. You know what I'm saying? So I have to wait until I can wear my Cafe Bustela pajamas. That'll be a while. But boys, this takes the cake. Kalman just gave me a serious present. Look at that. It's so cute. It's unbelievable. Look at that. This is for travel. My wife is going to love this. All right. So Yishkoyach. And guess what? Once again, Kalman is sponsoring the shir, and of course, he didn't tell his wife about it, of course. Anybody who sponsors so many times should not be telling their wives. So it says like this, Kalman of 5 towns. In the schus of Menachem Mendel ben Simcha, turning the new Perek Shishi, aptly called Hadar, which happened not coincidentally on my firstborn daughter's birthday. Her name is Hadara. So she was born on Sukkot. So Sukkot, the new Perek, it's an unbelievable coincidence. And this year's birthday on Shmini Atzeres. Happy birthday to my beautiful daughter Hadara, who has a beautiful Yiddish neshama, and should only have good things this year. Shkoyach Kalman, once again, Kalman and Hadara. All right, here's a quick email. Hi Rebelli, my name is Yisrael Ausfresser. I think that's how you pronounce it. Once again, who knows? We met in person in Borough Park, in the Borough Park Sukkah Shir, and I can say there's nothing like experiencing the Shir in real time. By the way, Binyamin Schwartz says he's moving to Eretz Yisrael because he can't do the Zoom anymore. He was here once, that's it, he's sold. You also get better feeling of the hak of all the people behind the scenes that make the shir successful. I joined the shir starting with Eli Eruvin and haven't looked back. Amazing amount of effort you put into the shore, you give over the shir with clarity. We will walk away with much better understanding of the sugya. I tried listening to the shir on the train without video. I couldn't understand the sugya without the diagrams. Hashem should give you the strength and health, wealth, and much hatzlacha to continue your initiative. I'm interested in lending a hand, getting this project moving forward. If you still require help. Of course we require help, we need help. I myself have made 2 shidduchim and also have my own 23-year-old daughter in the parasha. By the way, I also made 1 shidduch, and that's why I am not going to be part of this initiative, because I made 1 shidduch and they're already divorced. I'm not kidding. Thank you, thanks Good Shabbos, and Good Yontiv, Yisrael, Ausfresse. Something like that. I hope I'm pronouncing his name well. Yeah, you know him?
I know the name.
You know the name, okay. Rabbi Isai, we have a beautiful daf today. We are holding, it's daf Samach Dalid, where the last 2 words of daf Samach Gimel Amud Beis, Omar Le. That's where we stopped off, because we were Mekayim the halacha, kipshutoy, that you're not allowed to go 1 word into the next daf. So therefore, we're going to take it back. We haven't done this ever, we'll take it back about 8 lines. Ahum Mavaya. We did it, we'll do it again, because it's literally smacking middle of the sugya, but it was already 2 o'clock in the morning and the oilam was getting sleepy, and so we'll just take it back. It's a very easy daf, easy sugya. Ahum Mavaya, Davadori by Lachmon Baristak. There was a guy, his name was Lachmon Baristak. Says Rashi, his name was Haman. Amrulei, Oiga Lach Rishusan, Oiga Lon Rishusach. Please rent your property to us so we can make an Eruv. Loy Oigar Lahu. He's Haman. Why would he help the Jews? So he said no. Also, Sabaya had a great trick. Omar Lahu, Zilu Batilu Shusaychel Gabechad. Go ahead. You be mevatel your reshus to 1 person in the Mavui. Havele Yochid b'makim Nachri. And then that 1 person is going to be 1 against 1. And we said the halacha. Now, Rashi says over here that if you mevatel your shos, it's also for them to take out and use it to take from the chotzer to the mavoi. So Rashi says, pshat, it's there so that if anything was in the mavoi from before Shabbos, they can move that around, or that 1 individual, let's say they were all mevatel the reshus to Ruvain, so Ruvain could do the tiltul, but they themselves, you're right. But it's a very good point to point out. They themselves cannot use it as a regular Eruv. Okay, so they did this trick. But they asked him, why is 1 Jew against 1 guy okay? Because that's not something that's common. A Jew is constantly scared for his life, so he won't live alone, and therefore there's no gzera on something that's not shchiach. But in our case, you don't have that. They're there, it's shchiach. What's going on? You have all these Jews living there, and that's very common. So what if they did some shtick? to be mevatel rishus to one person, that itself is something that's not shliach. Oh, not the fact that they're living alone. Even when you have 20 Jews and they all give it to Ruvain, that's something that doesn't happen very often, and therefore the Chachamim were misakin in that exact case. And here we are. This is where we're holding. So Rav Huna went and he said this over to Rav. So they're going to continue doing this. Haman is not doing tshuva anytime soon. He's not going to give in. He's not going to rent his place to the Jew. And Memela, you constantly have the same issue. So every week, they're going to have to be mevatel the rishos. And the mevatel the rishos, they're never going to do an Eruv. And they're going to forget about the whole concept of the Eruv. Says the Gemara de Ma'arvi. They must make an Eruv that doesn't work, a fake Eruv. They all come and they take the challah and they put it in a box and they do this whole spiel. And it doesn't do anything, the Eruv. So that they don't forget the idea of Eruv. Yoimru Eruv moil b'mokim nachri, but it's still a problem. People are going to say, these people living there, they're going to say, look, you can make an Eruv. When there's a guy, it's funny. Almost 95% of the people here are standing. It's unbelievable because it's 12:30 in the morning. I don't blame you. Yoimru Eruv moil b'mokim nachri. The machrazinon. They make a big announcement every single week. We're making a fake Eruv, and this Eruv doesn't work with Goyim. What works with Goyim is that we're all mevatel our rishos. We say, my property is not mine, I'm giving it to Ruvain, and this guy gives it to Ruvain, and we all give it to Ruvain, and therefore it's one against one. They make a whole spiel. Says the Gemara, but what about the children? The children have no idea what's going on, and they're going to grow up thinking that an Eruv works with a guy. Elo Marov, I have a completely different idea. One guy should befriend Haman. So, and then once he becomes friendly with him, say, listen, can I borrow a little bit of your yard? In order to put something down over there. If a guy has workers, a sacher is somebody that works for the whole year. A lekitoi is somebody that he hires just for the harvest, for the season, a seasonal worker. Point is, if he has one of these workers, it will become like this goyish worker that works for the guy. Yeah? And now you have the right, you have part of the property, part of the guy's property. And that's enough. For Mevidah Shmuel, and Rav Yehuda said in Shmuel, Afilu schiroi, v'afilu likitoi, nice and eruv v'dayoi. That's it. It can work for a sacher and a locket. That's it. Omar le'abayo l'Rav Yosef. Hoyu shom chamisha schiroi v'zelekitoi v'chamisha lekitoi mao. Says Abaye, okay, let's say you have a bunch of sachers, lockets, doesn't matter. 2, 3, 5 of sachers. 2, 3, 5 lockets. And one of them forgets to make an Eruv. Is that okay? We're only using this idea of schir lekitoi, the worker, we're only using him to make it easy for us. So that we could make an Eruv in the property of a guy, but not to say that if a guy is a sacher by, let's say a Jew is a sacher by a sacher and a locket by a guy, and he forgot to make an Eruv, it doesn't ruin it. Fine. So we don't use it lahachmer. Gufa. Omer Rav Yehuda Omer Shmuel. Here it becomes very interesting. Gishmaka agadata. Omer Rav Shmuel. Omer afilu schira afilu kitei noisen eruvoi v'dayoi. Omer Rav Nachman kam mal yahal shmaitza. I love this. So Rav Nachman, he gives it a grade. This idea that the sacher, the locket, he could, if you work for the guy, you're a Jew, you work for the guy, so all you need to do is be part of, the guy has, let's say the guy has a house in this Mavoi, there's another 4 Jews, the fifth one is the guy that is the Jew that works for the guy. He puts his Eruv down and he's good to go. So it's as if the guy's property is part of the Eruv. Right? We have 5 people in a Mavoi. 4 of them are Jewish, 1 of them is a guy. But the guy has Jewish workers that work for him. So that Jewish worker, he has he has bylaws on that property, so to speak. He lives there, he gets a room by the guy, he just works in the field. So Mela, he does the Eruv instead of the guy, and that's good. Says Rav Nachman, I love it. Great shot, great idea. And Mela works by us also. Omer Rav Yudah Shmuel. Now we're talking about grading. So now we said he likes halacha number 1, and now there's another halacha that Shmuel said. Omer Rav Yudah Shmuel. If you drink a revius of wine, you shouldn't paskin halachas. In fact, the Rambam brings us down in Mitzvah Ayin Gimel. He says this is a lois hasen the Torah. You're not allowed to drink wine and paskin. Okay, other Rishonim maybe not so much. Omar of Nachman, loy ma'al yoshmaitza. In terms of that's a 10, and this I'm going to give it a 0. I don't like this pshat. I don't like this halacha. Why? No. I heard this from people. I personally don't drink, and I've never tried any other substances. I don't even take aspirin. But there was this guy in Chicago who was trying to convince me that I should try certain things. He said, "Oh, this particular thing is going to make your learning is going to be so clear. I promise you." He's convincing me for 2 hours. No, I can't take an aspirin. Fine, but look what he says. If I don't drink some wine or revius, I can't think straight. It gives me a clarkite in learning. Unbelievable. So Mamela, Adarabba, what do you mean? What do you mean you can't pass me a little revius of wine? I can't even learn without a revius of wine, says Rav Nachman. So it doesn't make sense. Garbage. Throws it out. Amalei Rava. I found this very interesting because Rava is a Talmud. He's Rav Nachman's famous Talmud. And he even says, why do you speak like this, master? A person that goes and accumulates zoynos, he's going to lose his fortune. But we learn it differently. You take the word zoynos and you chop it and you say, zu na'a. This is a good pshat. Or this is a not such a good pshat. You start grading other people's pshatim. Zu na'a, zoyna, zuna, v'zuena ma'abed hayna shel Torah. You're going to lose the fortune of Torah. You're going to lose all your Torah. Incredible. So the Rebbe tells the Talmud, Amarlei Hadribi, you're right. I'm taking it back. It's an unbelievable lesson. The Rebbe tells the Talmud, you are 100% right. I'm doing tshuva on the spot. He doesn't, we just learned yesterday, Hamayr b'fnei Rabbi, Chayiv Misa, the whole sugya. We just learned it. No, if he's right, he's right. He didn't say, oh, I'm chutzef, why did he talk to me like that? No, he has a very good point. Hadribi, I take it back. I'm not going to talk like that. Now, exactly what's mutter, what's asr? So the Marsha says that even one thing, if a person says, oh, that's a beautiful pshat, bad, asr, then it's like zoyna, zuna, it's asr. The first Yisrael says, no, we have all these Gemaras. He brings the Gemara in Brachas, Daf Yudalid, that it says, kama mal yisah hashmaitza. You see that people say, oh, wow, that's a beautiful pshat. What's wrong to say it's a beautiful pshat? The problem is if you say beautiful pshat, say, but that pshat is not good. The second part is the bad part, says the first Yisrael. Okay. No, you see that in Lashon Hara. There's a concept in Lashon Hara also. Don't there's such a concept. But he brings the same, this Kama Mayo Shmaitz is brought down in Shas 3-4 times. And it's a thing. It's a beautiful pshat. Wow, I'm nispal from this pshat. What's wrong with saying that? It's when you follow through and say, Shmuel said a beautiful pshat. That in the Eruv. But when it comes to wine, that's a problem. So what should have he done? He should have asked the kasha. Look, I don't understand Shmuel. I love drinking wine. That it makes me learn better. But don't grade it. Amar Ravuna, Shasui al Yispalel. If a person is a Shasui, so now we're going to see there's Shasui The shikr, beautiful. That's exactly what I was saying. You know, so I was sad when I was learning this Gemara. I said, wow, we missed this Gemara by one day, because this is literally the one time a year, or the second time of the year, that people in Klal Yisrael get drunk in shul, and then they go ahead and they daven. But I would have to say that 95% of Klal Yisrael didn't go through that, unfortunately, this year. Maybe in your shul. I saw a video of a certain shul, I'm not going to say where, over 100 people, no shikr, so no shikorim. Okay, so I don't feel so bad, but it's mamish and yonah de yoima, drinking, and there's a concept of shasui, a guy he's a little tipsy, and there's a concept of shikr, that he's gone, and then the shikr kaloit, that he's mamish, like, you know, Hatzal is coming in, his eyes are rolling backwards. So, says the Gemara, shasui al yispalo. If he's tipsy, we're going to see what it means, shouldn't daven. V'mispalo, okay, it doesn't work. Shikr al yispalo. If a person is drunk, al yispalo. V'mispalo, tefillah teiva. And if he did daven, it's garbage. He has to daven all over again. Heichadami shasui, veichadami shikr. What's the difference? Kiha, story. And then from this, we'll know what it is. The Reb Abba bar Shumani, Rav Menashe bar Yirmiyo medifti. You have to read here. Havakol miftir me'adodi, amabara denahar yoifti. So they were gezegenzach. They're saying goodbye to each other. Omru, they said, Kol chad minan leima milsa d'lishmil chavrei. Each one should say another dvar Torah that the other one never heard. The Omar Mori Barav Huno leipad adam chaver le'b'tich dvar halacha shometich kach zoichroi. When you get to that idea, you'll remember your friend. So get to Purim, get to Simchas Torah. Oh, I remember my friend. He said a beautiful pshat over here. Pasach had va'amar heichidami shasi veichidami shikar. What's the difference? Shasi kol sheyachal adaber lefnei hamelech. If you are willing to go meet Trump in this state, then you're okay. You know, so you got rid of your inhibitions or whatever it is, and you go, but you're able to talk like a mensch. Shikr kol sheni yachal daber. You can't walk straight. Everything, you're slurring your words. Kol sheni yachal daber lefnei hamelech. Then that's not coveted to daven like that. And if you daven like that, tayeva. It's an abomination, you got to do it over again. So now we know pshat, between the difference between shikr and shasi. Okay, that's what we wanted. And this, Rabbi Isai, is a beautiful, beautiful concept. I think it's a chiddush, at least to me. I said it over to a bunch of people today. If somebody was able to grab onto the belongings, the estate of a ger who died without family, without children, and Allah is that his nechasim become hefker, you could just grab, whoever grabs, we had the whole sugya. A woman built this giant fence, spent all the money, she didn't know what she was doing, the other guy came, just took a spoon and went like this. Explains Rashi, people are going to be jealous, and the jealousy creates ayin hara. How do you make sure that the money remains in your possession? Over time, all of a sudden you lose your money. Why? You don't know why. Well, when you got it initially, people were jealous. And they put a spell on it, they put a ayin hara. How do I make sure that doesn't occur to my windfall? Yikar bohen sefer Torah. Unbelievable. You take part of the money, not all of it. You do a mitzvah, tremendous mitzvah, a sefer Torah. And that's going to get rid of the ayin hara. So I'm thinking to myself, like, we think, we have to give meiser, it's terrible, 10%. But that's how you gain by giving the meiser. By doing a mitzvah with the money, that creates protection for the money. We're not done yet. Omar Rav Sheshes. Afilu Baal b'nichsei ishtoi. Even a husband who had a windfall, she came in with the chasim, or she died, whatever the pshat is, it's a windfall. Maybe there's not such jealousy there. Nevertheless, he should buy a sefer Torah. We just turned to Daf Samach Daled Amud Beis, sponsored by Mark Steinberg. Schus for Shidduch for Yitzchok, Pesach Yehuda ben Meir Yosef, and by anonymous, Hatzloch in Yiddishkeit. Schus for his family to be Torah-dik Yidden. Amen. Rav Omar, listen to this. This is a big one. Afilu ovad isko v'rovach. If a person did a good deal Any deal he does, he sells a lot of esrogim before Sukkot. Whatever he does, great real estate deal, he must buy Sefer Torah. He must buy something to secure his funds. So I want to tell you, I mentioned this the other day, but I'll tell you what. So at the schos, my brother, I'm by my brother Rafal, and his best friend and his wife's best friend, Shapsi and Tova Fuchs. Anybody know them? From Lawrence. So they're very well known in the community. She's a big shatchanis. She did well over 50 shidduchim, and he tells us by the Suda that every dime that he made from all the shidduchim, he bought Sefer Torah. He bought 5 Sefer Torah already, and he's working on a 6th. Unbelievable. No, godless. So, first of all, it's unbelievable. I met such great people here in Farakwe, but you learn different things, and here, as he's telling me, the next day I'm learning the sugya. Buy a Sefer Torah. You buy a Sefer Torah, it helps. Now listen to this. Rav Papa Omar, afilu motzo mitzia, and he, by the way, just derech agav, Shabsai was telling me, he's the one that was saying a very good idea in Shidduchim, that I might have mentioned it, but it's kedai, because once I mentioned him, I was asking him for advice. We started with Shidduchim, how do you do the initiative, so he's, look, people are very private about Shidduchim. I mentioned this, mention it again, because the Israelis didn't hear it maybe. People are very private with the Shidduchim, and it's kedai. If you go out with somebody and it doesn't work out, don't be private. Tell people about the guy you went out or the girl you went out. Maybe you have a friend that it passed for. Why did they say, the people shouldn't know I'm going? Adarabba, let people know. He says, I guarantee you, it'll solve, I don't remember what he told, half the problem, whatever, okay, but it'll solve part of the problem. Zog the Gemara, Rava Omar, afilu of the Eli Eruvin, Rava Papa Omar, afilu motza mitzia. If a guy's walking the street, and I know a guy in Chicago who found in one of his buildings over $1 million in a box. Yeah, I know the guy. They arrested somebody, and the guy went to jail for a long time, and he left over a gezunta matana. Kitzer, matzah mitzia, nobody will know about it. Now here's the kicker. I saw a wild Ben Yoyada. Ben Yoyada says, I wasn't even sure I want to say it, but he says a person could cause himself an ayin hara. If he's so excited about it, or whatever, that's what he says. I have to look into it exactly what he means. But a person, nobody knows that he found this box of money. He's going to keep the money exactly where it is, and for the rest of his life, he's going to give out money from the box. No, you're not going to give me you can make yourself an ayin hara memela. That's what the Gemara is saying. Afilu matzah mitzia. You should make a Sefer Torah. Omer Rav Nachman Yitzchak, afilu kosa b'tefillin. You don't need to make a Sefer Torah. You don't have to today. Sefer Torah. I was just looking into it right before I came here because Be'ezer Hashem I want to write one. Don't worry, I didn't have a mitzvah or anything. Just stop. It's time to write a Sefer Torah. But it's like $60,000-$70,000 for a decent Sefer Torah. Get one maybe for $50 if you like. But they're expensive, no? These things are expensive. So obviously, not everybody makes selling a stroigim 60,000, 160, so they can afford 60. So what you do is, yeah, no, I'm not talking to you. So I'm saying if you make $20,000, you buy a pair of tefillin. I'm saying you could buy something. The point is, you buy something nice. You buy a dvar mitzvah.
Eli, the markup on a stroigim is much higher than the markup on Sefer Torah.
That's for sure. But you know how many esrogim you have to sell to buy one Sefer Torah, please?
You should have seen Noah. My son Noah in the fields behind the big channels just picking up his strogan from the floor. He's like just running after them.
This is a $50 esrog. What do you think? The ones on the floor are $50 esrogim. You know how many of these guys in America come in? Rabbi, give me an esrog here, and he's thinking to himself, that's the one that I stepped on by mistake. Okay, whatever. Next.
10 minutes left.
10 minutes. Very good. Yeah, so the point is, even a guy makes $1 million deal, $10 million, he doesn't have to buy Sefer Torah. He wants to, that's great, it's a great idea, but tefillin is also good. Do some dvar mitzvah with it. Bomer Rav Chanan, v'yisei Rav Chanina, micro. Where do we see this in the pasuk? The chsiv, v'yidei Yisrael ned. Now look in the side, you'll see in the Torah, v'yidei Yisrael ned l'Hashem v'yomer. Klal Yisrael said, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're going to give me, if we're going to win the war, I'm going to take all the loot and give it back to you. So that's all of it. But at least you see the idea that you make a deal with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I'll give back to you. It's something to remember. Rabbi says something to remember. It's a really important insight in life. Besides the Meiser, besides give something back in terms of a mezuzah, tefillin, a sefer Torah, a chasana, whatever it is. Okay, next. Omar Robi Barabo, derech mil v'sheino. I didn't have my piece the whole time. That can't be. Oh, here it is. Derech mil v'sheino. If a person walks a mil, let's call it like 3/4 of a mile or so. V'sheino, it takes a little nap, not a 24-hour nap. You know, some of these guys, they drink and then they sleep for 2 days. We're not talking about that because obviously that's going to work. So a little nap. V'sheino kolshu mefigin es hayayin. They'll get rid of the wine. You're not going to be drunk anymore. So, Nachamal, we have to remember. Rami Barabba says you walk 1 mil, it's good enough. You could paskin, you could daven, all that stuff. Yeah, not if he's completely. We'll see. That's only if he drank a revius. If you drink more than a revius, then this trick doesn't work. By walking, it'll get deeper into the bloodstream, whatever it is, it makes you more shikr. If a person only drinks a revius, 1 mil is enough. Story of the Gamliel, he's on a donkey. He's on the way. And Rabbi Loi was behind him. They found some bread, some nice rolls, cake, whatever it was. Now, they're going and they see bread on the ground. What do you do if you see bread on the ground? Just keep on going. You have to pick it up, right? People are very makbid on the crumbs. We had in brachas. Crumbs, bread, kolchke, donuts on the floor. What do you do with it? He says, pick it up. Then they bump into a guy. Omer loy magvai, mavgai. Rabbi Gamliel calls out his name. He knows his name, mavgai. I want to give you a present. I want to give you the donuts. I want to give you the bread. So the story's over. Nitba loy Rabbi Loi. So Rabbi Loi runs over to mavgai. Omer loy mehechanato. Where are you from? Omer loy me'eroishu Burganim. I'm from Burganim. Umashmech. What's your name? Mavgai Shmeini. My name is Mavgai. You ever saw this rabbi before? Omar loy lav? No, never met him. So immediately it was understood. Shekiven Rabbi Gamliel beruach hakodesh. Rabbi Gamliel obviously had ruach hakodesh, and he knew this guy's name. I don't remember when I said the story. That's why I need Yisrael. Yisrael, where's Yisrael? Is he on? I don't see him. Anybody see Yisrael Goldstein? He's sleeping? Schluffen. Okay. I'll say the story anyways. So tell me I said it. Did I ever say the story? You remember the story about the stipler and the name? No? It's in the Dazanomen. I'll say it over, just in case there's some new people. And if it's old, you'll be moichel. Yisrael Goldstein yelled at me. He said, you're starting to say your same stories over. So, when I was a kid, I was about 11 years old. I was in Bnei Brak, and my father said, "You remember the story? You think? Okay, we'll bring back. So we'll say quickly. We still have 10 minutes." My father said he wants to go to the stipler. You remember this, Noam? Noam, any recollection? Stipler? You do remember the story. Okay, so say it quick. You remember? Okay. Real quick. Okay, we'll do the shorter version. Walter Carey, Zechroin Levracha from Flatbush, called up my father and said, "Go to the stipler, I need a bracha." So my father asked me if I want to come with him. I said yes. He says, "Look, I have on the top shelf, I have a special magic marker. It's called the stipler magic marker because the stipler couldn't see well." The stipler, by the way, is Reb Chaim Kanievsky's father. He was considered the Gadol Adar, and everybody thought he had Ruach HaKodesh, etc., etc. So we go to the stipler, and before he went, he wrote in giant letters a bracha for Yontiv ben Sarah, whatever his name was, something like that, Yontiv ben Sarah. So we go to the stipler, and it was finally our turn. Stipler looks at this thing and he says, "Sinido azanomen." There's no such name. So my father thought that he didn't see it well, so my father started screaming in his ear, Yontif ben Sarah. So he said again, there's no such a name. I was there, I saw it. So my father just went out and, I don't know, Walter Carey. So my father calls up Walter Carey and says, I was just at the Stipler. Didn't you say the name is Yontif ben Sarah? Yes. So my father tells him the story. He says, I don't know, Rabbi, I have no idea. Kitzer, an hour later, Walter Carey calls up my father. He says, I called up my brother and I told my brother the story, and he says, idiot, Mom had another name. It was like Sarah Chveisvas, Esther. So we went back to the Stipler. Second time, my father said, let's try it out again. Wrote it again. And the Stipler gave a bracha. Maisa that I saw with my eyes. Anyways, that's in our generation. But Rabbi Gamliel, he was...
You sure he wasn't focused on the fact that his first name was Yom Tov? Is that a real name?
But the second time it was okay. It's like his son, you're saying. Brak Hara Davua. No, the disciple wasn't into that stuff. He didn't say Shira, he said Yom Tov. It's only Shira you're not allowed to have. That's a big no-no. Fine. And I said Sarah. You noticed, Shira, you change, if your name is Shira today, you go to Reb Chaim Ganevsky, you have to change it to Sarah. I said Sarah, Yom Tov ben Sarah. Anyways, fine. So, but Reb Gamliel in his Ruach HaKodesh, he knew people's name right there and then. He never met the guy. He told the guy's name what his name was. Says the Gemara, we learned three things from this story. We learn a halacha that if you pass, and this is in the Shulchan Aruch, if you see food on the ground, you pick it up. Now we have to assume that the roiv over there were goyim, and that's why he didn't eat the bread himself, because it was pasakum, also to eat. And this was after Pesach, and you see from here that even though he found the bread, now he's giving a gift to a guy. How could he have anah from giving a gift to the guy? Now Magvai is going to be, what's his name? Mavgai. Mavgai is going to be makir toiva to Reb Gamliel. He's going to owe Reb Gamliel a favor, or a below a favor. So he got anah from it. So you can't have anah from it. You see from here, you'll have anah from chametz from a guy because it's Rav Goyim. Clifton or Yid, where are you? I thought you were going to come visit me tonight, Clifton or Yid. Talking to you. Shalom. Okay. Taisus asks on the spot, how could you give a gift to a guy? It's like sechanim. I don't know the guy. So Taisus says because he joined them on the trip, so once he joined on the trip, it's like as if you know, fine. Zog the Gemara. Kivin shegilach ziv, once he got to the place, bo'echad lishol al nidroi, somebody came to say, I need you, Rabbi, to annul my neder. I made a neder, I don't like it. Omar lezeh sheimoy, so he told Rabbi Loi, klum shasinu revius yaino italki, do we have enough of this? Do we have a revius of the Italian wine? Omar Loi hein, yes. Imkain, so we can't pass it. We drank a revius of wine, can't pass it. So, come, we're going to take a little trip, we're going to go, and then when we get to wherever we get, we need the wine to go down a little bit, then I'll be mataneh to come with us. So he went 3 mil. What did we say? All you need is, beginning of the sugya, Omar Romi Bar Abba, 6 lines from the top, derech mil. All you need is 1 mil. And he went 3 mil. Isn't that the place, Rabbi Schoenberg, where they have tchelas, whatever? Okay, fine. Kivin shegiel Sulomas Tzur, Yorad Reb Gamliel Menach Hamor. So Reb Gamliel gets off the donkey. We're learning halachas now. He didn't do it on the donkey. He got off the donkey even in Satif. He put on his cloak, his special dayan cloak, v'yosha v'hitloi nidroi, and he did ataras nadar. Hard dvarim lamanu b'yisrael. We learned 4 halachas, a lot of things. Lamanu shurvius yainu talkim shaker. We see that 1 revius of Italian wine can make a person shikr. You can't be mataneder. And we see that if a person is shikr, he shouldn't pass in halachas. But if you go on the way, it'll get rid of the wine. And you can't do it. Not on the donkey, not walking. Because it says Gamliel sat down to do atar sandarim. But the bottom line is, it says they went 3 mil, not 1. Shani yain and talki, the meshakir tfei. We're talking about Italian wine. For Italian wine, you need 3 mil. Regular wine is enough 1 mil. Ava shasa yosim revius, kolchkin derech terata, v'sheina mishakartoi. Again, V'omer Rav Nachman Omer Rav Lo Yishana Shasa Revius. Ava shasa yosim revius, kolchkin derech terata, v'sheina mishakartoi. So, you see that there's a concept of if you do more than revius, then walking doesn't help. So if you do more than a regular wine, you go to an Italian wine, isn't that drinking, that's the equivalent of drinking more than a Revius. If you drink a Revius, great, you can walk it off. You drink a little bit more than a Revius in an ounce, you can't walk it off. So what if you take, instead of, where's that bottle of wine? That wine, you take this wine, instead of this wine, you up it to the Italian wine. Why is that not different than a revius in an ounce? So this walking off is not going to work if you take the Italian wine. Says the Gemara, Rachuv Shani. You know what it is? When you're in a nice car driving somewhere, or you're on the back of a donkey, it's not like walking. It doesn't shake your whole body up. So in Mela, you don't become more drunk. Oh, Hashdas is lachi. You asked me, why did Roman Barman say 1 mil is enough, and he went 3 mil? Because he's on a donkey's back. He's not walking it off. He's riding it off. Riding it off, you need 3 mil. The bottom line is, then there's no difference between Italki and not Italki. There's no difference in wines. All wines are the same. If you're going to walk it, it's 1 mil. If you're going to ride it, then it's 3 mil. So it's nothing to do with the Italki. So why do you have to sit down? You can be made for neder if you're walking, standing, riding. Says the Gemara, you're right. Tanoi. It's in fact the machlokes tanoim dikin lemanda omar poischin becharota. This is what Manda Omar that says, according to Rashi, you have to find a reason why you don't want them to do the neder. If you would have known X, Y, Z, you would have made the neder? No, not a neder. Or what if a guy says, I don't have a good reason. I just don't want the neder. I'm hungry now. That's not enough. That's Vikil Manda Omar. Ain't poisim becharata. A Talmid Chacham, you just annul the neder for no reason at all. According to Tosfos, it's the reverse. Fine. That poisim becharata is for no reason. What did Reb Gamliel tell this guy? Lahu Gavra. Yesh boita, says in the pasuk. Yesh boita kimad kirois charev. When you say words, it could be like a sword. The lashon chachamim marpei, but the words of chachamim could heal you. That what kol boita roy ledakroi becherev. If you say the wrong thing, then if you stop making neder, cherev, death. Did you know that? Did you know that if you make a neder for no reason, or you do you're liable to the death penalty? Oh, you didn't know that? Okay, annulled. One or two more minutes. In the early generations, if you see a bread on the floor, you pick it up. We're not worried about sorcery going into the bread. Unfortunately, in those days at least, not in our days, in those days, the Jewish girls would put kishuf into the bread. You keep on going. It's not a good idea to pick it up. It's like a roadside bomb. You pick it up, poof. But there's a difference. If it's a whole loaf of bread, keep on going. Psisin, if it's just crumbs, the kishuf doesn't go in there. What they don't put the spell into crumbs. The Navi was upset that they were putting the kishuf into psoisi lechem. It seems like that they put the kishuf into the crumbs. Hasam the shakli bagrayu. No, the crumbs were what they got for putting the spell in, but the spell, the kishuv, was in whole loaves of bread. Rabbi Sai, we're going to have an amazing Tehillim, mamish unbelievable, straight from Queens, and now we're in Ramat Bet Shemesh. Rabbi Noam Fix, thank you.
Share my love.